Hi, everyone. I'm going to walk you through the reverse outline assignments. So let's go over to our page. So here's the assignment right here. Reverse outline, background information, all that stuff. Again, you should be reading this just so you know why I'm asking you to do these things. The part that I really love is the idea of reverse engineering. Reverse engineering is this thing that happens amongst corporations and military, where basically you take something that already exists and then you figure out how it works after it has already been invented. Basically, it's a way to steal ideas and concepts. My favorite example of this is the hoverboards. Hoverboards were invented by this one dude who did a Kickstarter to try to get people to fund it. From that Kickstarter, and on that Kickstarter, there was a video, but from that video, all of these Chinese corporations saw this video, turned to their engineers and said, hey, make that for me. The engineers took the technology that they knew, the technology that was available, and they basically tried to connect it with what they saw in the video. They had no idea what this guy's specs were or anything like that. They created it simply because this thing already existed and they had bits and pieces to figure out how it worked. We're going to do something similar to that. With the hoverboard, within the year of it coming out on that Kickstarter, there were, I think it was like 500 different factories making their own version of the hoverboard, which is why some of them were blowing up and stuff like that, is because they didn't do the trial and error process in the same way as that dude who originally invented it, which is pretty sad and sweet at the same time. As far as like, look, if you don't go through the process, shit blows up literally. So we're going to do a little bit of reverse engineering for our papers. The purpose of this is to give you a powerful tool to edit and revise. And the key here is to see your stuff in a new way. Surface, organize your ideas in a logical way, revise your sentences for clarity, revise your sentences for transitions. Basically, it's revision. All we're doing, even though all we're doing is outlining, when you outline, you're going to see things in a new way when you do it this specific way. All right. Process. Please read step by step on the process. I know what's going to happen is I'm going to start the first couple of things and then lose track. Because I know the process well, I wrote it. So I'm going to lose my attention span. But the first thing it says is open a new document. So let me, oops, I did not mean to do that. Let me open a new document. Here's my Google Drive, file new, blank document. All right, I got that. Step number 2, open your essay. If you don't have an essay, that is fine. This will just be an outline, not a reverse one. So you'll still be able to do this. You'll just be generating the ideas now rather than later. So I do have an essay, which is this one. This is the one that I modeled for you. So I got that. Those two things are open. In the new document, restate the essay prompt in your own words. This means you might need to go back to the essay prompt, but I'm asking you 2 questions over and over again, right? So on my new document here, prompt, I need to answer that. I got to figure out in my own words what's being asked. So in this case, what's being asked is why some students, and again, I should be adding more detail for how I understand it and how I'm writing about it, why some students have a higher likelihood for failing than others, and summarize programs that schools can do to help these students succeed. Again, I'm just restating the prompt for the most part. All right. So I did that step. For your thesis, answer both questions in the prompt. Whatever your answers are, the majority of your topic sentences will address that first question in the review. The majority of your topic sentences will address that second question in the analysis. So let's go back to my paper, see if I have a thesis. I do have students fail because they feel insecure. That'll work as part of my thesis, right? Thesis. Do I have anything on how they can succeed? And notice I'm looking at my definition paragraph. I don't really have anything. Teachers don't bother. That makes the student feel uncomfortable for asking for help. This could be another reason or another thesis, right? In fact, I'll actually change mine. I'll have that one. There we go. But I'm missing the second question, right? Missing second part. And that's fine that I'm missing it. I do need to acknowledge that I'm missing it though, because that means that I'm going to eventually have to find that. All right. And then next step, copy and paste the topic sentences for the definition paragraphs on the new document. I do have a definition, operating definition paragraph. That's this. All I'm doing is copying that definition. Oops, I don't need it in bold. Students fail because they feel insecure. Great. What else do I got? Copy and paste review paragraphs below the definition. So you kind of need to know what is review and what is analysis. And remember, there's two questions that we're answering kind of dictate which one's which. Why do students fail is the review. What can schools do to help them succeed is the analysis. So I have this one. And just glancing at this one, writes about low-income student emotional health and security and their connection to feeling of belonging in school. This does not sound like it's solving the problem, so this is definitely a review. And the instructions said to number things. So I got that. Number 2. So all I'm doing now is skipping down to the next topic sentence. I'm not playing with whole paragraphs. I'm just using topic sentences. The connection between longing and emotional health can also be seen in the article when he writes about how students with economic and emotional insecurity. This doesn't sound like it's fixing the problem, so it's still review. Okay. Number 3. So I'm skipping down to the next topic sentence. Recognizing this point is important because stereotypes affect our day-to-day lives for the worse and cause students to feel insecure. This is again another cause for insecurity. Skipping down again. And then I have my conclusion. I'm not even going to bother with my conclusion right now. Okay. So I have 3 review paragraphs, which is fine. I have no analysis, which is okay because you know what? I didn't have that in my thesis anyways. I never answered that question. So I need to give myself a little note here, and I will do it right now. Missing, meaning I know now that I have to go back and fix that. I'm going to have to look for analysis. I'm going to have to look for solutions. Now, this is where things get really great. This is where things get really great on this, is that you can start to make sure that your topic sentences actually connect with each other and with the thesis. So in this case, my thesis is about students not being comfortable, right? Like that's really the main issue. So in this case, we have emotional health and security. Security meaning feeling safe, which is comfort. Boom, I have that in there. Belonging and emotional health, right? It's economic insecurity. Boom, that's the same thing as feeling uncomfortable. And then let's see here, important because stereotypes make people feel insecure. Again, now you saw me do this when I was moving my the summary responses onto this model essay. But notice all my topic sentences address the same issue that's in the thesis. If they don't, leave a note for yourself or fix it. Your job is to learn from your mistakes and not wait for me to point them out. Because if I point them out, you lose points, right? In your other classes, not in mine really, but in your other classes, you'll end up losing points. If you could find your mistakes on your own, that sets you up for success. And then once you're outside of school, you're no longer waiting to be found out. You're no longer waiting for somebody to correct you. You are supposed to have the skills to correct yourself. This gives you those skills. It gives you a very powerful tool to help you out. That's what the reverse outline is. It's actually pretty simple. It's a lot of copying and pasting. So hopefully that helps y'all. I will see you later. Bye.